Can you see my camera? Um, can you see my screen? Sorry.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see your screen, but
Okay.
just make it slide, make it a slide.
Yeah. Can anybody still hear me like this?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So
And go ahead.
today we're looking at web scraping in data science. Um, I am new to the world of data science, and I have spoken to some people that actually have experience in the field, and they've said that one of the overlooked aspects of data science is actually web scraping, because when you move into a company for the first time, your data is not readily available, unlike what we see in tutorials for data science, where the data is provided by the tutors and we just have to do the visualization and the exploratory data analysis and find our models and apply our models to it. That's not the way it works in the real world. In the real world, we have to source for our data, and it is not a difficult task, but it is something that is overlooked by most people that are just entering the field. So we're looking at what data science and what web scraping is in data science, and how we can also scrape a particular website. So what we're looking at is what is web scraping, libraries for web scraping, how web scraping works, whether web scraping is legal or not, and we look at a quick demonstration of what we talk about. So what is web scraping? Web scraping is an automated technique used in extracting data from a website. You find a way of you find the website you want to get information from, and you write a script to actually pull data from it, because web pages have different things. They have pictures, whether it's picture you want to collect, or particular text or links to certain pages. It is available on the web page, so you write a script to get what you want to get, and you pull it from the website. Web scraping provides an avenue for us to be able to store data in a structured format. After you've gotten the data from the website, you have the ability to store it in any format you want, whether a CSV file, an Excel file, a JSON structure, any format you want, you can store it in, and you can make your applications as you see please. So we have an example of e-commerce websites like Amazon or Jumia. We can get the information from the website and actually see buying patterns of customers, and those information we get can be critical for business insights. You can also go on social media platforms and get data from there and run sentiment analysis using those data that we've gotten from the platform. So there are actually many ways, or more than one ways actually, to get data from a website. We can use online resources, but most online resources are actually paid for. There are some Google Chrome extensions that you can use to get your data from the website. We can use APIs. Some companies don't like people scraping their website, so they provide APIs that we can use to access some data that we might need. And you can also write your own code. The best way to script is actually write your own code, because you get exactly what you want. Although some sites don't allow it, but you can still find a way around it. So we see that we go to the website, we script it, and we can get it in any format we want, whether it's a CSV file, comma separated value, an Excel file, a JSON file, any format we want. And even into a database, a cloud database, we can store the data that we get from the website. So there are also multiple libraries for scripting in Python. Since I am in the Python data science team, what we use for scripting is Python. There are multiple tools also for scripting. We can use R programming language, we can use Java, and I think we can use C plus or C hash. So there are multiple libraries for scripting in Python. We have Selenium. Selenium is for automation mainly. If we want to be able to treat the website like a human being would, if you want to type into a search colon, or you want to go to the next page, the best library you can use for that is Selenium. We also have beautiful soup, mechanical soup. All this can be used to script just one page. You cannot move to the next page. We have Scrapy also, and finally we have Pandas. Pandas can do a little bit of scripting, but it is mostly used to store the data we get from the website. It is mostly used to store it in any structured format like CSV or Excel or JSON. And we can also use SQL to store it into a database. We have many more libraries for web scraping. So how does web scraping work? Web scraping, to understand web scraping, we first have to understand the structure of a website. We must know how HTML tags work in order to extract the data needed to export as a whole new format. So we must be able to look at the HTML structure and know where exactly what we are looking to script for is. If we are looking to script some certain text, we look at the text attributes of the HTML tag to be able to script it. If we are looking to script images, look at the image tag and find the way around the website to be able to script it. In most cases, web scrapers will be given a specific URL to script data from. Then the scraper will either extract all the data on the page, or you'll be able to select the specific data you want to script. That is why we have to learn to write our own code in order to be able to script, because you might not want all the information on the page exactly. So what you would do is you write a script to be able to get exactly what you want from that page. If it is the image that you want to get, if it is the images you want to get from the page, you scrape accordingly. If it is the text, if it is just the header, whatever you want to get, if it is the links in the page that you want to get, you scrape accordingly. And lastly, the scraper will run and let user download the data as a CSV file or any other structured format. So when you run the scraper through the website, you can be able to store it in any structured format, as I mentioned before. So is web scraping legal? Well, not in all cases. Some sites actually don't allow for web scraping. Um, I cannot give particular reasons. Everybody has their own reasons why they won't allow for web scraping, but not all sites are open to the idea of web scraping. So before you start your script, you have to check the terms and conditions of the site regarding web scraping and script accordingly. Because if you don't check the conditions and the terms and conditions, you might actually be risking being sued by the website. Facebook actually has a strict policy against web scraping. So there are ways around it though, but we also have to be careful because you can lose your Facebook account forever trying to script Facebook. So every website has a robots.txt file which contains permission about what you can access in the website and what you can't. So the robot.txt file gives you an overview of the things that you are allowed to collect from the website and the things you are not allowed to collect from the website. So that is what you actually check if you want to know if you can script some particular things from a website. So if you want to check the robot.txt file, all you just have to do is get the URL of the site and put /robot.txt. It will give you an information of what you are allowed to script and what you are not allowed to script. So we look at a quick demonstration. We'll be scraping a site from a scraping website. This website is actually mainly to practice scraping. So we are scraping the tables in the website. There are about 25 pages of tables. So we'll be scraping all the tables in the 24 pages actually. So the tables have multiple pages, as you can see, from 1 to 24. So we get 25 lists from each table on each page. So in order to scrape, the first step to take is to import the relevant libraries. We import Selenium because we are scraping more than one page. Like I said before, Selenium is used to scrape more than one page for automation. If you want to search, if you want it to look like it is a human being that is going through the site, so we use Selenium for that. And we also import pandas to be able to store the information or the data that we get from the website, to be able to store it in a structured format. So after we import all relevant libraries, we create a WebDriver instance for Selenium. Selenium works based on WebDriver instances, and the WebDriver instance is actually available for um, most web browsers that we use. So I'm going to be using Chrome. I'm going to be using Chrome to scrape the website. So while using Chrome, we have to first download the Chrome WebDriver that is compatible with our web browser. So after that, we assign a variable name driver to the Chrome WebDriver. So in order to scrape the website, we have to first navigate to the page. Ignore this first. This is the page that we want to scrape from. Remember, we are scraping multiple pages. So we are scraping from page 1 to page 24. We're using the range function in Python standard library. We're scraping the page 1 to 24. So we are scraping according to this particular range. We get the URL we want to use. Remember, this is the URL of the site, www.scriptsite.com, and different pages we want to script is from 1 to 24. So we add the URL to the site and we click on the URL. We'll be able to access the URL with this get function in the driver instance. We'll be able to get the URL. Then we create an empty list of the information we want to store. This is where we create the empty list before the for loop. We use the for loop to be able to go through the different pages we want, go to the second page, get the information we want until it reaches the last page, then we stop. So we create an empty list of all information we want to store, and we start using the driver instance to get the information according to the tag names. I'm going to be using class names in this instance. So we get the team name that we want to collect. We want to get the team name. We find it and find all the elements in the um web page that has this particular class name. The class name we have there is name. Also, we do that for the years, the wins, the losses, the win percentage, the goal against, and goal difference. So after that, we store the information we get from each page into this empty list. This append function is a way of storing adding new items into a list. So we do that for all the empty lists that we have. So when we go through the first page, the scraper looks for looks for all the elements that has class name of name, then gets the information about them and stores it in the teams list. Remember, we have this teams list here. It stores it there. It goes to the next element that has that class name. It stores it there. After it is done with that page, it goes to the next page and does the same thing. It goes to the next page and does the same thing. So after that, we use pandas library to store the information that we got into a data frame. So we use df equals to pd.data frame. We have created a data frame. Then we start adding the columns that we need. We start adding all the columns we need. So we get a column for teams, we get a column for year, we get a column for wins, we get a column for losses, and all the other information that we need. And we see that it is already stored in a structured format in in Python. So in order to be able to extract this information as a structured format like CSV or Excel, but we are going to export it as a CSV file. We use the to CSV function in pandas. So after that, we get the information we need in a structured format. Yeah. So thank you.
Well done.
So is there any question?
Well done, Samuel. I have a question.
Yeah.
So I might be wrong though, but just I need clarification. So in case you don't want to do web scraping, is there another alternative? Because from what you said, that web scraping is the way data scientists get their data. So in case I don't want to do web scraping, how do I get it? Yeah.
I said there are multiple ways.
There
are multiple ways to actually get information from the site. You can use online resources. There are Chrome extensions that you can use to get the data that you want, but most of them are actually paid for. So the best way is actually to learn how to write your own script. Write your own script so you don't actually need to pay for it. You don't actually need to pay for it. Or you can actually, there are some websites that actually have some data readily, but it might not be the data that you want. So you have to learn how to get the data you want by yourself. Because if you see you want to perform a machine learning algorithm on a particular information in your country, you cannot say you want to get the information from, you cannot say you want to get the data from Kaggle, because Kaggle might not have that data according to what you have in your country. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The data that Kaggle might have might not be relevant to your country. If you want to get so if you want to get the data in a particular area, you might not be able to get it. So if you have the site that you want to get it from, you'll be able to get the information by yourself, or you can actually pay for the online services that are available if you have the money.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I want to have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the companies that provide the information, could it be that they may provide it in form of in a JSON form that we can access through an API and all that? Could we get that data through that?
You can get it through API. You can use YouTube API if you want to get information from YouTube. You can use Spotify API if you want to get if you want to get information from Spotify. There are avenues to actually get it using APIs. So API, like I said earlier, API is actually a way of getting the information you need. Also, APIs, online services, and writing your own code. Those are the ways of actually getting data from a website.
Okay, thank you.
Does that answer your question?
All right. Yeah, I have a question. Thank you, Samuel, for this presentation. So my question is, talking about the web scraping, talking about the data. Like when you talk about the data, can you, like, is there any way you can just say more about it? Is it just about getting the emails of maybe the CEO or the CFO of the company, or their location or the phone number? Is there more things to data?
Okay. I'm not necessarily getting CEO of a company. If you want to create an algorithm that is able to, you can say you want to create an algorithm that is able to recognize cats. So you have to get pictures of cats on the internet. So you write the algorithm to be able to recognize cats according to the data you've gotten from the internet. It's not necessarily getting pictures of CEOs or whatever. The data we get, we use it to run analysis and get insights for business. It's not necessarily getting pictures of, we're not using it to get pictures of CEOs.
I'm just citing that one as an example. What I'm trying to ask you in the sense that, like, what are the relevant data that are being useful? You mentioned business analysis. Now, can you just I mean, just say a little things about data. Like, what are we trying to scrap? I mean, in essence, on the websites, what are the relevant data that may be useful in terms of business analysis, like you mentioned now? That is my question.
So let's say a site like Facebook, or not, let me not use Facebook, an e-commerce website, and I mentioned earlier, an e-commerce website like Jumia or Amazon. Amazon has something like rating systems. So if you get information about those, if you get the data on how many people are rating a particular product, you can be able to make suggestions, or you see recommendations about those particular products to other people. So it aids the people that want to buy similar products to be able to choose the type of product that they want to buy. Let's say if iPhone 13 is having 4-star rating and Samsung is having 5-star ratings, a person that wants to get either iPhone 13 or Samsung will look at the ratings, can get information on the data about the ratings, and make his decisions based on that ratings.
All right. Can I also add something?
Yeah, you are free.
All right. So just in addition to what Mr. I believe Samuel has said, all right, it's similar also in marketing. All right. So you actually get the information you actually extract. All right. These are data based on the behavior of the set persons within a platform. So if you go through a certain system, why is it that it appears to be that certain products are ranked higher than other products? So there's actually a system that can actually help you predict the customer behavior within these platforms. And based on that customer behavior, then you can know what strategy to use and what strategy not to use. So both data scrapping, data analysis, data visualization, then data prediction. These are processes that help organizations to scale faster and more efficient, irrespective of their industry or competitive landscape. Yeah.
I couldn't have said it any better. Thank you for
You're
adding
welcome,
to
sir.
it.
Thank you.
I was short of words. So before we go, to show that we actually learn something, can somebody answer these following questions, or just one person? What do we understand by web
So I have
scraping?
a question.
I'm sure okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, yes. The question I want to ask is kind of like business related though, because you mentioned a certain problem rather I just thought of. Okay, you said that there like the possibility for people to actually get access to ready data doesn't work out so well when you use Cargo as an example, those who do machine learning and the
Yeah.
rest. So are there any is a question that has a business opportunity that I'm thinking of working on. All right. Are there any sites, any website, any platform anywhere that offers or that give people access to data for whatever purpose they want to use it for? All right. I know of Cargo. I know of Zindi, but Zindi and Cargo, they don't necessarily just give you the data that way. Sometimes they ask you to either generate your data or do other stuff. And this can be really tasking for organizations. So from your own end, based on your discovery, have you noticed any platform, website, anything at all, any organization that grants or that gives people access to data they can use to carry out certain activities? It's just a question, sir.
Well, personally, the only site I've come across is one that gives information about basketball data, gets information on the players. If you want to get those kind of data that you are looking for, you have to actually make research on the field. That's why a data scientist job is not just getting into the computer and coding. You have to make research. And it is not only from the internet that data scientists get the information that they need. Sometimes they get it through surveys and other stuff. So survey is actually one of the ways data scientists get this information. But if survey does not work, they have to make research and get those information online. You can go to different sites.
Generate them,
Sometimes
right?
they go to multiple sites to generate them by themselves. So there's no actually
Excellent.
a specific place to
No
get data
single
because
site like that.
there I don't know
Mm.
of, let me say, I don't know of any site to get data for particular things, but I can ask people that have been long in the
Into it.
field. So but actually
Excellent.
watching the tweets of those that have actually spent years in this field,
Mm.
they said that web scraping
Yeah.
is actually very important because most people, I even saw a joke recently that how do you know it's the data scientist first day on the job? The reply was he was asking for the data set because the data set is not available.
Yeah.
And somebody that learns from
Yeah.
online platforms like Udemy, the tutors will provide the data set that they
Yeah.
use. If you learn from Kaggle will provide the data
Yeah.
set, but if you want to be
Work on
good at the
something new
field,
yourself.
you actually have to get
Great year.
the data. API is actually one of the best ways to one. I've come across people that said Kaggle. I don't know how true it is, but they said Kaggle is not the right way to learn to get a job in data science. That you have to work around APIs to be able to get information by yourself. So one thing that will put you at the forefront in data science as a learner is to learn how to find data by yourself.
Good. So that means if I create a certain, if we're able to create a certain repository that can give people access or that can provide certain data based on their preferences, we can create such kind of system or such kind of services that would actually fetch us money. Thank you. Thank
But
you. Just go.
you don't know that they will want readily available. So, but
Or
it's
you
still an
create.
idea that can. Mr. Semen,
Thank you.
do you have a question?
All right, so not exactly a question though. I just want to like add a little bit of contributions to that and how APIs can actually help in getting a lot of data. And the interesting thing is that most of the times they're actually data out there, and most times too they're available in what's it called in APIs. Interestingly, so but it's just exactly its last points that might actually determine people to get those data. The fact that most of them are like some of those data that are crucial are paid for, all right? And the question is that do you want to pay for them or you are looking for a free way to get the data, all right? That's another thing. So even if you, let's say, even if you think creating a platform that gets people the data they need, there are a chunk of them already, right? And that's actually supply them like as APIs too. Whether medical, in fact, I think I recently searched and I saw one that can narrow down your symptoms and give you the diagnosis with a 90% accuracy. But it's paid for, all right? And you can easily use the endpoint to build your own application. So the question is, do you want to pay for that or not? And if you can think, you can also get the data and okay, maybe it's affordable where that can work too. So just want to say that.
Okay, thank you, Zan. So, any more questions before we move on?
My question is,
Where is Mohammed? Why is it not here?
I have a question, please.
Yeah, please go on.
My question is, okay, since you say getting the data, now aside APIs, you can get through APIs, some of them are paid, some of them are free. Then web scraping, legal standard applies, whether what is allowed and what is not allowed in web scraping, maybe based on some website. Now, if you need the data and you run your robot.txt and possibly get the restrictions or what you can really get from that website, if what you want is not available from what you see when you run your robot.txt/robot.txt, is there can you approach the owners of the sites, since they don't have API to expose those data, and maybe you need such a data and they can have it? Can you approach them, of course, in that terms, in order for you not to breach maybe any legal issues and all that, or any legal standard?
Well, I haven't actually had an experience like that, So I don't know if maybe you should be able to approach them though, but the robot.txt file just actually shows you what you can scrape and what you cannot scrape. It doesn't
Yeah.
actually stop you at all. Means it doesn't stop you. But if they actually get you, you could be banned from the website. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, that's what
There
I'm
are
saying.
loopholes around. There are loopholes
That's
around it. But
okay.
if it's for you to approach them, you can approach them. But I've not actually done that before for any site.
All
I've
right.
not had the need to do that. I'm still a beginner.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So I'm sure everybody knows something about web scraping. So can somebody just tell us 2 libraries that we can use for web scraping and call it a day? 2 libraries. Who does not understand? Sorry, what don't you understand?
Sir, don't worry. I can't understand it today. As time go, I will understand. It can't be today. Let's not waste time like that. So another day.
Who can tell us, okay, no problem. Who can tell us 2 libraries used for web scraping? I will mention them earlier.
Can you Selenium?
Yes, Selenium is used for web scraping automation. If you want to code different pages,
Scrappy.
yes, and Scrappy, yes, okay, yes, very good. So I think I'm done for today, host. If you want to say anything else.
Yeah, thank you so much, Samuel. Even as a beginner that you claim to be, you actually impacted on us today. So I really enjoyed today. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So Selenium is for automation, not periodic table, madam. It is for if you want to click on a link, if you want to go to the next page, if you want to be able to
Samuel,
search
don't bother yourself about it already. You just put it.
Okay, no problem. Okay. So I'll
Mr.
start.
Lake, can you want me to learn?